All I could see then was you just dancing away in the background.
I'm just dancing to that shit, man. I was like, whoa!
Oh, right then, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another AKM Live. Wherever you are in the world, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Today we've got Shauna and Brian with us again. We're going to be covering the warm-up, which is going to be like the Sepp Vandenberg and the Mbappe finale, the thing that's finally concluded now that everyone's been talking about, you know, the possibility of him coming to Liverpool. We can put that to bed now. We're going to do the Liverpool birthday and the milestones that Liverpool's hit over the past week or so. And then we are also going to do some transfer links. And then we're going to finish it off with a Monday mentions, I think it is. Monday mention. We got no morning today. It's all Monday mentions.
There's plenty of moaning, but...
Sean, before we get started, do you want to do the whole red bubble thing?
Yeah, look, I mean, you know, if you want some good quality stuff, Liverpool stuff, redbubble.com, go to SD Designs 2020 and get yourself kitted out, lads. You know, I even have an Arnie Slot design up there. You can get yourself Arnie Slot stickers, hats, magnets, jigsaws,
everything. We've got everything.
Everything, man, everything.
We've got Gareth in the chat here. Gareth, he's the head of like Klopp Heights of Anfield. Sorry, the bio of that is in all of my videos, guys. So go give that a follow. They've got a TikTok, they've got a Facebook, they've got Instagram, everything over there. I also help out as an admin over there as well. So go give them a follow, guys, while you're there. So, firstly, guys, I think we'll start off with again with this Mbappe thing. I guess let's get it over and done with. Oh, look who's here!
All right,
come on. Seriously?
How we doing, boys?
Ah, for God's sake. Get that LeBron James stuff off you.
Look at this one.
Get that LeBron James stuff off.
I know it's the wrong kid. How we doing?
Not too bad, you mate.
I thought I can't let me boys out. I'll pop in for a minute. So what's on the agenda?
So we're going to talk. Well, I was just about to start talking about the whole Mbappe thing because it's been announced.
I wouldn't want him at Liverpool. He's a trouble causer.
No, I said the same as well. Like, I think his attitude stinks, to be fair.
His attitude stinks when he says no.
It comes across that way anyway. What's your quick thoughts on it all, on the Mbappe thing? Go on before you go.
Go on, say again.
What's your quick thoughts on Mbappe before you have to get off?
To be honest with you, mate, if he was willing to come to Liverpool, if he wanted to come to Liverpool, he'd have made every effort to come to Liverpool.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have sat around waiting to see what come. He'd have gone, no, I want to go, and he'd have just came.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. It seems to be all about
other than that, I think he's one of them players like Ronaldo. Spit his dummy out. If he can't get his own way, he'd come in that dressing room, demand the top money, and decide he didn't get it. I'm going to start causing trouble. He'd split the dressing room in half, and it all tipped up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. What time is it over there then, where you are?
Well, for me, yeah. All right, Brian, I just see you there, man.
What a day.
It is 9:20 and it is still 33 degrees.
Jeez.
Well, right, I'm going to have to go, mate, but Harley safe start to everyone.
See you later, mate.
With LeBron James, rubbers on.
Get rid of LeBron James t-shirt.
See you later, mate.
See you later.
Bye.
Right, so what was I about?
Poor Brian was panicking that he wasn't going to be able to talk as much because Mark.
So yeah, like Mbappe, it's all been unveiled. He's been signed as a Real Madrid player. From what I can gather, it's a 5-year deal. He's got 100 million signing on fee that he gets over the next 5 years. So 25 million a year, something like that. Is that right? Something like that. I had a few people talking to me in my comments and stuff saying, oh, we've lost Matip now and Thiago, so that's money we've saved. We could give that to Mbappe. And I was like, there's no chance that we are signing Mbappe. This deal to Madrid's been done for probably 8 months, if not more. It's been done for ages. They just couldn't actually do it, that's all. You know, with all the other stuff that's going on. But yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Bri. What do you think about is it Liverpool missed a bullet there, as Colin's saying in the chat?
I'm just glad that the whole scenario's over. Fed up of reading about exclusives. Mbappe's giving Liverpool hope. His mother's a Liverpool fan. I don't know. To me, he looked like a Real Madrid player or possibly a Man United or Man City player. Those are the only people that really could afford his wages, other than PSG.
Yeah.
He's too good of a player for Saudi League. I've just got question marks over how Real Madrid can afford all these players and afford to pay their wages.
Yeah.
I should be interested in a few years' time when the bubble bursts.
Yeah. It's like I think Jude Bellingham went over there and he's on like 300k a week, if not more. Something daft like that, isn't he? He's on a fair whack. And you've got to think that Mbappe is now their top earner, isn't he? So yeah. What about you, Shauna?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I've got a pain in me. Well, I've got a pain in me hoop anyway, but I have a pain in me hoop really listening and reading all of the clickbait, all of the Instagram posts, all of the clickbait journalists who haven't a clue anyway, and are all kind of spectators at the end of the day, are all speculative kind of they just put something out there for clickbait. He may have stepped foot on John W. Henry's yacht. He may have stepped foot on Linda's yacht. I couldn't care less. There was no way that he was going to go to Liverpool. And what really annoyed me and just made it really embarrassing was these GoFundMe pages to save money to get Kylian Mbappe. Like, what in the Lord Jesus is going on? Why? I mean, it's a 5 billion club. You think that a GoFundMe is going to help, or do you think a GoFundMe is going to push the deal over? I mean, we're not the bloody FAI in Ireland. It's they have the money, but they're not going to spend the money on the likes of Kylian Mbappe. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want Kylian Mbappe. There's this kind of stigma with anyone that opposes these owners or questions these owners that we want to literally spunk money up against the wall and spend ludicrous amount of money on players like this. And that's not the case, or it certainly wasn't the case for me back in the day when I was against these owners, and I'm still not exactly 100% with them. But we're on about necessary spending, and I can't see how Kylian Mbappe signing him at Liverpool Football Club would have done us any favors in terms of his attitude, in terms of his salary, because that would have just tipped everything over. You'd see Van Dijk saying, well, hold on a second, how's he earning more and I'm the captain? You'd see Salah saying, well, come on, I've been the leading goal scorer every season, and how's he earning more money? So it just would have thrown everything off sync, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's done with. And to the people, the journalists, the shit stirrers, and the people that have just peddled this crap and have everyone's hopes up, or people that are gullible enough to listen to that crap, shame on you, because you knew damn well that this was never going to happen in the first place. Whatever link he has with Nike, whatever link he has with LeBron James, whether he plays hoops with him every now and again, or whether he has an intimate relationship with John W. Henry, Linda, and Tom, I couldn't care less. Yeah. Thank God it's over.
I'm glad it's over as well. We don't have to
have
another summer of it again. What is it someone put here about Mbappe 2029? It's already starting. I agree with Redbird here as well. Like, we don't do egos at Liverpool. And
no.
It stays that way on the slot. Like, I agree as well. Like, we don't do that type of thing. I mean, there has been the odd occasion. I know this is going on a fair bit, is this Mbappe thing, but there has been that occasion sometimes where I think Salah's had a bit of an ego thing around him, because there was something in this is tying into that video in regards to Klopp, and it was something to do with where all the players were talking about what Klopp had done for them and blah blah blah, and then Salah was like, well, I've done it as well, like I've done stuff for him. And this is supposed to be like a thank you Klopp video, you know, like his farewell video. I just find it funny, me, stuff like that. But yeah,
the thing is, if we weren't going to go for Aubameyang on the basis of his attitude, we're sure as hell not going to go for Kylian Mbappe, who's been complaining and talking about leaving PSG for the last 2 or 3 seasons. So, do we really want that at our club? The answer is no. Were we going to spend that money that it would have taken for us to bring him in? The answer is no. Would we have spent the money on his wages? Well, we didn't do it for Jude Bellingham, so what's the chances of us doing it for Kylian Mbappe? People need to use their head.
Yeah, agreed. Any final word from you, Bri, in regards to Mbappe?
No, like I said, I'm glad it's over. I could never see it happening in a million years. It'd be, don't get me wrong, it'd be nice to have a marquee signing, you know, now Klopp's gone and all that, you know, just to like give the fans a boost. You know, we're all looking forward to Arnie Slot, but you know, I would like to see somebody of a caliber come in and you know just give us a boost. You know,
Yeah,
you know, a statement signing, like, you know, I think that's what we need.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm happy. You know, everybody knew he was going. I can't believe people believed that he was going to come to Liverpool. To be honest, you know.
Same. Same. So the next one of the warm up is the Sepp van der Berg comments. So I did do a video on these early on in the week when they first came out, but I kind of can see where he was coming from with this, and I understand him a little bit, man. I did get a little bit of comeback in the comments. So if you guys obviously disagree with me as well, just, you know, go ahead, you know. But I'll read out his comments to you, so you've got like it fresh, and then you just let me know what you think about it. So just to set the background as well, Liverpool signed this player for 1.4 million. With add-ons, it would have gone up to 4.4. Obviously, he would have had to have hit certain milestones, which I don't think he will have done because he's only made 4 appearances for the club in total. So his comments here are to the De Telegraaf, which is, I think, a Dutch paper. So he's speaking back in his homeland. He said that he knew he couldn't get into the team when he first arrived at Liverpool. I could have been at Liverpool for 1 or 2 more years, but I wanted to play with all my might. I demanded to be loaned out every time because I felt I was getting better and better. I also made great strides physically. In the first season, on the other hand, that was great. You're 17, 18-year-old, central defender in defence, in training, starting against the starting 11, and you have to build up, and then you've got Roberto Firmino, Sadio Mane, and Mo Salah come running towards you. It was tough, but I enjoyed it. But in all honesty, I wasn't looked after by anyone. I also felt ready back in 2021. I had a great conversation with the management, and he said he had received good reports. I understood that I wasn't going to play Van Dijk, Matip, or Kanate out of the team, but I thought I would be right behind them. And when I didn't get given a chance, I said, figure it out. I want to leave. And then he says here, you didn't exude any confidence in me at the time, but you do want to hinder my future. I want to keep playing every week and develop myself further. In Germany, I enjoy Dortmund away with 70,000 people, Bayern Munich away against Harry Kane, Stuttgart, Leipzig, and Leverkusen against clubs like that. I am challenged every week. And now, basically, this is all off the back of the rumours around that James Pearce put out that Liverpool have now slapped a 20 million transfer fee on this kid. Bearing in mind, we bought him for like 1 million or whatever it was. And I can kind of see where he's coming from, where he wasn't really given a chance. He wasn't told that he was going to basically be able to play at Liverpool. But now all of a sudden you want 20 million for him, and it's out of the budget of the team that he's just been at on loan and had a good season. I think he's been a bit shafted there, to be fair. But anyway, I'll hand it over to you guys. What do you think, Bri?
Yeah, I can definitely see where he's coming from. I thought he would have fancied his chances this year with a Dutch coach show coming in. I haven't seen much of him, to be honest, on loan. It's obviously done okay, but you know, you've always got to back the manager. Kwanzaa's come in. He's took full advantage of that situation, and you know, at the end of the day, if Klopp doesn't think he was good enough, I'd back Klopp. You know.
Yeah. What about you, Shona?
It's a double-edged sword. Like, I mean, you're listen. I mean, there's no player bigger than Liverpool Football Club. If he's not good enough to play, then he has to just do what he has to do in order to prove himself. And if he hasn't done enough, then then he's in control of his career, and he can go and he can look for a transfer elsewhere. I like his determination to break into the club. But I mean, he said from the start that he knew he wasn't going to start. So, I can kind of see his point to some degree, but I think, look, he's a professional footballer. He needs to suck it up. And in terms of the 20 million price tag that they put on him, I'm not surprised at these price tags, because that's the whole idea of Moneyball, is bringing in players with the intention of getting a better resale value, and obviously that's what they want to do. And you can't blame the club for doing that. It's good business, but you would have to kind of question, well, why bring in the player in the first place if they weren't going to use them at all? And it just kind of smells a bit like Aquilani. We brought him in, and again, a fairly promising player, and he was loaned out and then got rid of. So, but I haven't seen much of him. So the same way with Brian, I heard he was promising, but I was kind of underwhelmed when we got him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think as well, a part of it to me as well is that I wonder if it's not Michael Edwards, it's more Richard Hughes, who's the sporting director. I wonder if they're trying to like do something like they did back in the day, with like Jordan Ibe and Dominic Solanke and Brad Smith, where we had these players and then we ended up selling them for like money that we didn't even think that they were worth. Do you know what I mean? So I wonder if there's a bit of there with that as well. So, but yeah,
that's
I
always
understand.
been the case, Adam. I think that's always been the case with Liverpool, because if you remember Klopp, we have this policy where we have to sell players in order to buy players. That's always been the case at Liverpool under FSG. And that's probably the most frustrating part of it, because we want to build on the squad depth rather than offload some players that we could maybe hold on to some. But yeah.
To me too. Sounds like the kid's got a bit of an attitude. We was talking about it just now, when we attitudes.
Yeah,
Klopp
true.
didn't like his attitude. At the end of the day, Klopp used to ring up the players, speak to them. That determined whether he signed them. If you liked them, if you liked what he was hearing. Obviously, the kid's, he's confident, but he could also have a bit of an attitude that's let him down.
Yeah, true as well. There's that as well in regards to that as well. So yeah, I get that as well. Good point. Yeah. So I guess lastly for the warm up, guys, I want to talk about this Arne Slot no-show. I guess. So I find it I don't know if it's just me. I find it strange that Arne Slot started on Saturday. Now I was in two minds. I thought, are they going to do it on the day on Saturday, or are they going to do it on Monday, like the start of the working week, some sort of first interview, which I would guess they've already filmed his first interview. Do you know what I mean? Like they do when they sign a player. I would guess that's done and dusted already, because we know that he's been in the area for about 2 weeks now. He's been seen in restaurants, this, that, and the other. We know that he's had a stadium tour at Anfield already. And we know that I think he's already been at the AXA training ground as well. And he's been there already. So you would have thought that by now he would have filmed some sort of interview or something daft like that. I mean, just today we've had Chelsea have announced their new manager, and they've already got like quotes from him straight away. Do you know what I mean? And before we'd even got Arne Slot signed up as the manager, he was non-stop talking about us. We couldn't shut him up, but now that he's here, he doesn't say a word. I don't know. I do think maybe is it because of the whole. I don't know. I'm trying to just think of some reason why it is. I just think they're handling it so badly. Like, is it because it's the club's birthday today and that's why they didn't want to do it today? Is it because I don't know? Like, that's the only thing I could possibly think of why it's not being brought out today. But I don't know. Like, what's your thoughts on it? We'll come to you, Sean, first on this one. Like, what's your thoughts on the slot no show, shall we say?
A slot no show. To be honest with you, I actually admire it to a certain degree, because if that was Tin Hag, he would have had about 15 interviews before he even managed United, and it just gets really annoying, all that kind of hype and all that bullshit. And I think he's trying to play it down a bit and trying to avoid it just a tad. All the hype, and just look, I'm just here to do a job, and we'll see how we get on, or something. I don't know, but I'm not really kind of reading all that much into it. I think as long as he's getting to know the club, getting to know the city, getting to know the fans, getting to know what the expectations are, and crossing his I's and dotting his T's. I couldn't really care less about what his commitment is to the press or whatever. It would be nice to hear what he has to say, really would. But I'm sure maybe with the Champions League final just gone, and other things, maybe he's just waiting until things die down, and then he'll have his say. I don't know. It might be the end of this week. Who knows?
What about you, Bri?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's not the traditional Liverpool way. We always have a press conference, and the manager and the fans can see what the manager's about. Usually, I remember it with Rafa, remember it with Brendan, I remember it with Klopp. I was kind of hoping for like some kind of video that the club would do where Klopp is handing Arnie Slot a torch, or handing him the torch, on the reins to the club, like that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like the handover, But I don't know. It's weird. Is all his backroom staff signed up? So I don't know. To me, it seems like it's been held up, and I don't know why. It's strange.
I did see something the other day about one of them. Is it the Ruben Peters guy? He was officially announced as like he'd signed 100%, and I think he's like something to do with the fitness side of everything. But he's 100% signed up, as far as I'm aware. I'm not too sure about everybody else, but surely like he's got the job. So, and it's not like you're interviewing them guys as well, is it? So you're interviewing him. Like I don't know. So it is weird. It is strange, and I think the longer it goes on, I think it's just going to get weirder. Like if we don't air, can you imagine if we don't hear anything from him till July, like until after Euros is done and dusted or something? I don't know. It's a little bit weird. I do think what TW74 said here. I think that this has already been done. I think they're just waiting to hit the play button on it, basically. But yeah, one more thing, guys, before we get out of the warm up. Gary Richards has asked the question here: does Darwin get sold? So as of right now, do you reckon Darwin Núñez is sold this summer, based on what we all kind of gather right now?
Hard to know. We don't know what Slot decides, and what sort of offers. I don't know, to be honest with you. Very, very difficult. I mean, if we get, like, it's all well and good talking about getting rid of him. So who do we replace him with?
Well, there was links to a certain striker today, but we'll cover that a bit later on.
Would that be Kylian Mbappe? How's that go?
Yeah, it was Mbappe. Yeah, it fell through at last minute. Madrid snapped him today. What about you, Brad? You get rid of Darwin?
It depends what's happening with Salah. I think if Salah's going to go, Darwin stays. If Salah's going to stay, Darwin goes. We need to generate money somewhere for the new manager, whether we like it or not. That's just the Liverpool way now. Personally, if a decent enough offer come in, I get rid of him. I know we have been linked with that Feyenoord striker.
Yeah.
And he seems to be not too bad,
yeah.
But if a decent enough offer comes in, personally, I get rid of him.
Yeah, I tell you what, we'll touch on that Feyenoord striker now because it kind of ties in. But yeah, so there was a rumor that's come out basically that Liverpool are looking at this Santiago Jimenez who plays for Feyenoord. Apparently, his asking price is about £38 million or something like that. He's been linked with us and Spurs. Apparently, he's more leaning towards going to Spurs than us. But I've always looked at him because when you've read the articles surrounding Slot, they've always used this Jimenez guy as like the focal point of what Slot could do with Núñez. Because before Slot got there, this Jimenez guy was garbage, apparently. Like, he wasn't doing anything. And then apparently Slot's got hold of him, shown him this, apparently he does this thing where he shows the strikers when they're about to shoot and then pauses it and then asks them what's wrong with it or something like that. What's wrong with your body position? What's wrong with this? And he also looked at the way this guy was running as well and basically helped him with his running ability and like his gait and everything. And then that season, he did all this. He went on and scored something like 30-odd goals or something. Or maybe it might have been even more than that. He scored a shitload of goals. I know that. So I've always looked at him as like a case study of what Slot could do with Núñez rather than him buying him. I don't know, but yeah, what's your thoughts on this Jimenez guy, Bri?
I haven't seen a lot of him. Don't get me wrong. If Slot can get a song out of Núñez, then fantastic. That's how he's going to be successful at Liverpool Football Club, is the hard work on the football pitch. I don't know. I lost faith in Darwin this year. Second half of this year, I've lost faith in Darwin, and I'm open for change. But if Slot can get a tune out of Darwin, then I'm happy for that too. He's meant to be an amazing coach. I think that's what he's brought in for, because he's good with the youngsters. He can make okay players better. I'm happy for Darwin to stay, but somebody's got to go, unfortunately, because we need a transfer kitty.
Yeah,
the manager needs. It's unfair for us to judge the manager without him bringing in a few players in. But what I will say is, I think if Slot is in the market, I think he will definitely be looking at his old club and seeing what players can improve the Liverpool Football Club. I find it hard to think that he's not going to go back and have a look and recommend some of the players that he's brought through, because he knows them better than anyone.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Shano?
This is Santiago Jimenez, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the stats there because I don't really know all that much about him. I think, obviously with us getting Arne Slot, he's always going to be linked with players from his former club. I think we have to be careful with what rumours are out there from the former club, because it's a little bit lazy kind of journalism from anyone that's kind of pushing that clickbait. From what I can see, he's had 30 games, 30 matches, 23 goals, 6 assists. That's a decent player by the sounds of it. He sounds all right. 23 years of age. So again, but it's a different league. If you go to the Premier League, is he going to be able for it? It's night and day. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really know whether to buy someone like him. We definitely need, I think, a striker because Jota is injury prone, and it certainly put pressure on places as well. So yeah, I don't know how much you'd spend on him. You'd probably be looking over 50 million anyway.
I was just going to say, do you remember the last striker we signed from the Dutch league, apart from Gakpo?
Turcotte.
Luis Suarez.
Oh yeah.
Suarez.
Everyone was saying he couldn't do it in the Dutch league, and then he came over here and lit it up. And he's a South American as well, same as this lad. So I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out there. But anyway,
that's true. No, it's a good point.
So guys, we'll move on to the next one, which is it's Liverpool's birthday today, guys. It's their birthday. The club was officially, I guess, formed, 132 years ago today, 1892. I've got a bit of a write-up here from the club's website. apparently here, William Barclay is credited with coming up with the name of the football club, and he and Holding agreed on a mission statement that the club be called Liverpool Football Club and shall play under the rules of the Football Association. And obviously this all happened when Everton vacated Anfield and that, didn't it? So there was no one that was playing there or anything like that. And then Liverpool basically came in and took over. I wonder if Everton... Yeah, I've got different feelings about that now. Looking back on it, was that a wise decision? But yeah, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that then, Sean? 132 years.
It's a beautiful thing, you know. It's something that, you know, we should all be celebrating, and such an amazing club with an amazing history, and some of that history very tragic as well. It's just an amazing club, amazing city, amazing people. And I mean, it's the only bird that I'm 110% committed to. No, I mean, look, I'm football crazy. I'm Liverpool crazy. So it's, I mean, to go to like a Legends gig or anything, see all the banners and see all the history, and, you know, there's just so much highlights of that club, you know. And I mean, also another thing that I just wanted to mention, on the day that it's its birthday, Liverpool Football Club are now officially the most watched club in European football. New stats from Nielsen Sports state Liverpool are the most watched club in European football, beating the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Manchester United. Also, Liverpool have become the first Premier League club to reach 10 million subscribers on YouTube.
I know. So, like, when I saw that, I was like, the first one. I was surprised at that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know how big of a club we are, but I was surprised at that. I thought it would have been like Man United or something. Like, I am surprised that we were the first hit 10 mil on YouTube. To be fair, but as well at the same time, they do seem to. I do see a lot of Liverpool stuff on YouTube. And that's not just because obviously I've got a Liverpool YouTube channel. When I'm not even like signed in on my account, it seems to be everywhere, and I hardly see anything from the other clubs. Do you know what I mean? So maybe we were ahead of the curve at one point. You know, like we were behind regards to websites and all the online stuff, and now we seem to be ahead of it now. So I guess that's good. And you know, it's down to sorry to say this, Sean, but it's probably down to FSG at some point.
No, don't be silly. No, let's not go there. I think it. I mean, we were the first or the last club to get a website. You know, so I mean that just goes to show. But I mean that's Liverpool Football Club for you. It's amazing fan base. Not all that well represented sometimes on social media, but yeah, I don't know what else to say on it and what it means to me to be a fan of this great club.
Yeah. What about you, Bray?
Yeah, well, it's hard to think, like, you know, they've been running that long. Obviously, we've turned into one of the biggest global brands in the world now. Seem to be getting stronger and stronger every year. One thing I will give FSG credit for is they do brand the club well. Unfortunately, Shona, but they are clever. They are clever at what they do. They have taken us on to the next level, you know, since the last owners. You know, and Anfield's just been transformed into a fortress, 61,000-seater stadium. You know, we've got the training ground now, which is state of the art. I mean, you know, we're in good shape, and long may it be another 100 years or 132 years.
Yeah, hopefully. Obviously, I won't be here for it, but you know, hopefully. I was thinking as well. You know, I didn't get a chance to look for it, but I was trying to find out, like, to see how old is like Liverpool. Like, I know that Spurs is like the first English club. Is that right? I think I'm right in saying that. I might have been first Premier League club actually. You know what? I'm gonna have to Google it now. Will you guys just talk amongst yourselves, like?
I thought it was like a lower league team, like Notts County, wasn't it? Is Notts County the oldest club?
I've no idea. I couldn't care less. I just love Liverpool Football Club. I mean, you ask my knowledge about football outside of Liverpool Football Club, I'd be like, what? Who? You know, I mean, I have to Google how to pronounce some of the names, you know, that we're talking about of players that we're linked with. You know, Liverpool. I mean, I've gone over twice. Obviously, you guys there for the Legends game, and even the Legends game, to see the amount of people turn up for that. It says an awful lot, and even for the, you know, the campaign that fans put forward to the club to get Sven-Göran Eriksson manager for the Liverpool Legends game. It's very emotional, and it just goes to show what an amazing club it is, you know.
Yeah, I've just had a quick look. Liverpool were the I've lost it now. 53rd, I think. Yeah, 53rd club to be founded, and the first was, as you were right, Bry, was Notts County in 1862. They are the oldest club according to that list, anyway.
BKB.
BKB, yeah. So next one, guys, I want to go over these transfer links that's come out over the past few days and everything like that. I'm just load up. So we've been linked with a fair few wide players, few midfielders over the past recent days, but there was one mention today by Fabrizio Romano to a centre-back. Now, this centre-back is someone that Liverpool have been mentioned with last year. They did have a chance to sign him for like 40 million or something. That was his release clause. But then he signed a new deal and his release clause went up to like 60 million. And this is Inacio at Sporting Lisbon. Now, obviously, we know about Sporting Lisbon, you know, with the whole Ruben Amorim debacle that went on with when we were looking for a new manager. But yeah, this lad, he is 22 years of age. He can play at left back, at centre back, and as a defensive midfielder. He is left-footed. His contract now expires in 2027, so he's got 3 years left on it. And it does say there that he actually signed his extension in August the 17th of last year. His stats for sorry, go on.
I thought it was 2026.
And
that's an ASIO.
Yeah, it says here 2027 on transfer thing, Mark. I don't know, maybe they're on, I'm not too sure. His stats for last year in total, including all competitions, was 49 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist. And his representatives are, we've got any links here to Liverpool? Let me have a quick look. Any sort of players here? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't seem to be anyone here that there's any sort of like connection with anything with Liverpool in the past or anything like that. So there's nothing there. But what's your thoughts on this then, guys? Do you reckon that Liverpool, because I think his release clause now is around about 60 million euros. And he was mentioned in regards to Fabrizio Romano's video. It was mentioned that like United are looking for a left-sided defender and they were looking at him. And then he just also name dropped Liverpool in there, as in that they were the 2 English clubs that were looking at Inacio. So what is your thoughts on Liverpool potentially going for a 22-year-old centre-back who could potentially cost up to 60 million? Is that something you think that Liverpool should be looking at, Bri?
Yeah, that's the type of player we're looking for. He's experienced. He's won championships. He's at the right age. We've obviously done extensive scouting on him. It's not the first time we've been linked with him. I'd be happy if we can get him for £60 million. I think he could be potentially, a Van Dijk replacement.
Yeah,
he's versatile. So that's always handy for Liverpool Football Club with our injuries. I think 60 million. If we can get him £60 million with the experience he's got at that age, I'd be over the moon personally with that type of player.
Yeah. What about you, Shauna?
Well, I mean, you mentioned that like he can also play at left back as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if he signs or if he plays at left back as well, I think he'd be fantastic. I mean, even to be a replacement for either himself, Konate, Gomez, Robertson, I think that would be a good signing. I mean, his age, young lad, plenty of potential. So, yeah.
Let me have a, I think he's played for the national team as well. He made his debut in March of last year. 6 appearances, and he's already scored 2 goals already for Portugal at the international level. So I probably would say that he's probably going to be in their Euro team. So it might be something to watch as well during the summer.
Hopefully he won't be talking to Sepp van der Berg.
They would have do those. They would have tied him down before the. If he has a good Euros, I think the price tag could go up, couldn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's his release clause, really. So unless he signed like a new deal and it went up again, which, you know, Sporting Lisbon, like Portuguese clubs always tend to have these pretty high release clauses in their contracts and everything like that. So yeah, maybe they do that with him, you know, to be fair. Maybe they can try and get him tied down again to another deal. What's this? This is quite funny, actually. Yeah, I do agree with this one. This is a bit off topic, but yeah. Brandon's comment there. Not Liverpool related, but I must say I laughed when I saw that. Is it how do you pronounce his name? Is it Mascara? Is that how you pronounce his name, the new Chelsea manager?
Mascara,
yeah, fine. We'll call him that. It's until 2029 because we're not. Yeah, that guy will be sacked by Christmas. Do you know, like, he'll be gone. I can't, again, not to pop go off topic, but I can't believe they got rid of Pochettino, me. And then they came out with saying, we want a young manager to come in and build all this stuff. You had a young manager before you had Pochettino and Graham Potter. What are you playing at? Like, you don't know what you want. Like, they are the biggest laughing stock at the moment in the Premier League, apart from Man United. They really are. And that's just saying something. So, yeah. Back to Liverpool now, I guess. So we've done the Inacio. Let's move into midfield now. So I'll start off with this one player. This is something that's more of what I think may happen, like, or someone that Liverpool should look at. So there has been some little chatter about him in Argentina, back in his homeland, and it's Alan Varela, and this is a lad at Porto. He's 22 years of age. He can play as a defensive midfielder or as a central midfielder. He's valued here at 25 million euros, but there is apparently a 70 million euro release clause in his contract. So again, pretty high price to be paying for someone that Porto literally bought last year for £8 million. So, you know what I mean? He's right-footed. Last year, in all competitions, including the Champions League, he made 44 appearances, 2 goals and 3 assists. And he has represented... No, he hasn't. He's only represented Argentina up until the under-23 age level, and he made that debut in 2024. So this guy seems to be a little bit of a late bloomer, to be fair. Like, I know he's 22 years of age, but to have only made your first appearance for the Argentinian under-23s this year, and that is a little bit of a late bloomer for me. Looking at his agency, there is a few people on here that Liverpool have been linked with in the past. You've got Mario Götze, you've got Timo Werner, Nicolas Sula, just to name a few people that are on this agency list here. But again, this is just chatter coming from Argentina, which is his homeland. There's nothing credible surrounding this one yet, but it's just someone who I think Liverpool would be looking at as like a D. I think Liverpool's main midfield priority for this summer is a DM, is a 6. They need someone to come in because Endo had peaks and troughs last year. He wasn't consistent enough for the full season. So I do think they need somebody to come in, and he's just a player that I've just kind of got my eye on. But I don't know if you guys heard anything about him. I'll start with you, Sean, all this time.
Well, I mean, I saw on This Is Anfield that apparently he's rumored to be at around 60 million. So I mean, I'm not 100% sure whether. I don't really know. I don't really know all that much about him, but I'm not too sure whether I would rate him at that amount. You know,
it's a bit steep, to be fair.
And for someone who's not really, he's playing under 23s or whatever. I think that would be a bit of a gamble, personally speaking.
Yeah. What about you, Bri?
No, Liverpool aren't going to spend £60 million on that guy.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not. They're not. He's got not very much experience. Liverpool are in the bracket of a 30 to 40 million pound. They like to get somebody that's relatively unknown or to try to surprise somebody with a surprise. He's that type of player that Liverpool would go for. You know, he is a bit under the radar, but I think the price tag. No, I've watched a few videos on YouTube too, and he's not that destroyer we need. We need a destroyer. We do. We need somebody who's just gonna take the game by the scruff, not afraid to rough somebody up. You know,
He looks about 40.
Yeah,
It does look older than what it says, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does look a lot older than what it says. I'll say that for a start. Yeah.
I just think he's not the profile. He's a DM, but I think we can do better for that type of money. But I don't think we spend 60 million on a player.
Spectre says Ederson from Atlanta for 30 million fits the profile we need.
Yeah. I'll have a look at him actually while we've got it up. Since we're talking about midfielders, you know, I do have a couple of other ones to talk about. Let's have a look, see what it says here. Is it Edmondson, did you say?
Yeah, from Atlanta. John Henry thinks he's perfect. Is that the John W. Henry?
So this Edison from Atlanta this season. So he's valued at 30 million euros, according to here. He made 53 appearances last year in total in all competitions, 7 goals, 1 assist. His contract doesn't expire for another 3 years. He's right-footed, 24 years of age, and he can play in any 3 of the central midfielder roles. So he can just play as a centre mid, he can play as a DM, or he can play as an attacking midfielder also. Let's have a look at his agency while I've got it here and see if there's anything there. Because I have seen a lot of people talking about this lad in regards to Liverpool, and there doesn't seem to be anything there.
Versatility is key to what Liverpool are looking for. They're not looking for one player in one position. I think they want to play this multiple positions. You know, I think
that's a good shout.
That sounds like a Liverpool player.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
That type of.
It does sound like one that could come in, especially like you say with versatility and everything like that. I want to see what does it say. Did I say what? Yeah, I went over how many goals and everything. Did he only got 8 yellow cards as well the whole of last year? By the way, did he get any reds? No, he didn't get a single red. So his minutes as well. Like he was there available for 84% of their starting 11, and he played 84% of the minutes available to him throughout the whole season. So he was very available. But we've seen that loads of times when players come to Liverpool, they just all of a sudden just seem to get injured all the time. So it might, that curse might hit him as well. Another midfielder that I wanted to bring up that has just been mentioned in the chat. If me just see if I can find who mentioned it again.
Gary Richards.
Yeah, Gary Richards, that's the one. So he wasn't as part of this, but I've loaded up his profile. Now, again, he was a player that Liverpool was heavily linked with last summer, but he got an injury in the under-21s. I think was it the Euros last year for under-21s or something like that. He got a pretty bad injury in that, and he missed a fair bit of the season because I think he got injured again as well last year. So he does sound like a Liverpool player to start off with.
The fact that he gets injured.
Yeah. He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he only made 53% of their starting 11s and played 51% of the minutes available to him. He made 22 appearances in the league, 1 goal, 2 assists, 4 yellows, 1 red. His contract has got 2 years left on it. Again, he's very similar in the mold to that Edison. He can play centre mid, defensive mid, or attacking mid. And his agency, again, just to have a quick look, see if there's any connection with Liverpool, doesn't seem to be anything there. But again, I remember last summer when him and the next player we're going to talk about, Kefren Turam, he was, they were both heavily linked with Liverpool last year. And I do think if it wasn't for that injury that Kone got last year, he may have been the player that we got instead of Endo. Because I do think the price tag for both of them was round about the same. All right there, Jamie, in the chat, guys. He's got a YouTube channel as well, just in case anyone didn't know. He's a bit bigger than me, but yeah, YouTube wise. But yeah, just go give him a follow, guys, as well, if you don't mind. Jamie's there in the chat. So yeah, the Kone lad. I don't know if he is like a Klopp player. Do you know what I mean?
Or a
now
slot.
now that Klopp's gone, is that link still going to be there? I don't know. Especially if you look at his stats from last year when he was hardly available, he may have fallen down the pecking order. In all fairness, I don't know. What do you guys think on that, Bri?
It's hard on it because obviously Jurgen's gone. We are just guessing what type of profile player that we're going to go for now. We got a new whole backroom staff. We got a new manager. We can only go off what we've gone off for the last 9 years. I personally think his injury record's not helping him. But then you've got to look at this. Would Edwards go for him? I think if the price is right, if the wages aren't too high, if the age is right, he is versatile. I think he's an option, but I think he'd be like third or fourth choice option.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be like a priority. I think he's a fallback option.
Yeah. What do you think, Shauna?
Again, it really all depends. I mean, Slot may turn around and say, I want this player, I want that player. And then the backroom staff or those who are making the decisions with regards to targets may say, well, no, you can't have him. And this is a player we have lined up. So, I mean, yeah, we've been linked with Turan, we've been linked with Kone. I don't know whether we can see any of them being targets this summer. You know, I really can't. I would go for, who was that other player we were talking about? Ederson. I think Ederson. I'd be inclined to go for him.
Yeah. Just sticking with the Turan one that we were just mentioning just a little bit then, he has popped up again on the old rumour mill. There is a little bit of stuff in this one, though, in regards to his contract. Now, again, he's not as versatile as Ederson or as Kone, we'll just touch on, who can play like a more attacking role. Turan here, it says, mainly plays as a defensive midfielder, but he can also play central or out on the left of midfield. Now, his contract does expire this time next year. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I think last year, if I remember rightly, he was valued at around £60 million or something daft like that. And his wage demands as well. I think he was represented by the same woman who represents Ryan Gravenberch. She took over from that Mino Raiola, who died, the super agent. I think that's what he's called, Mino Raiola. She's took over his agency basically, and I think that there was some issue surrounding his wage demands last year, and that may be why it fell apart a little bit. But his stats for last year were 29 appearances, all comps, 1 goal, 1 assist, which doesn't sound terrific, but he is available, according to reports, for about maximum £20 million this summer. I have seen reports at like 15, 17 million as well. Half a miller. But yeah, what do you think about Turan? Like, I've got a few other things I can go through if you need a bit more background on him. But like, again, it's another one of them which I've just mentioned. Is this a player that is being linked with us again because of the past links? And was this like a Klopp player? Do you know? It says here that though he's capable of playing a holding 6 role, the Frenchman is better known for operating in a slightly more advanced position. So again, it seems to be, it might have that versatility that, as you were saying earlier, Bri, that Liverpool seem to go for. He has been linked with Juve a fair bit as well. And these reports that have come out recently are coming from Italy in regards to Liverpool's interest in him, and he has been kind of dubbed as the next Patrick Vieira. So that's enough of me talking about him. What about you guys? What do you think, Shauna?
I just want to know why Brian has gone upside down.
I just put my
It's all well and good, like, you know, all these players and whatever, but then it goes down to their wages and what they're demanding. Spectre came up with a very good point there. Gary Richards as well. Liverpool could have got Kone Turam for 80 million. Again, you know, why haven't we got them then? And it could be down to, you know, the salary that they're and I think Turam was looking for a ludicrous amount of money from what I can gather. Although my memory's not all that great. But you know, I don't really know, guys, if I'm honest with you. It's a bit of a, like, someone had said Gravenberch can play number 6. I think Gary Richards said that as well. I don't know, guys.
Yeah. What about you, Bri?
Yeah, Liverpool could do a Minamino job on him, couldn't they? They could sign him for £12 million, give him half a season and flip him for 30. Something Liverpool would do. But I'm trying to think. What's the last midfielder we signed from France that was any good for us? You know? His stats aren't very good in France. He's young, he's got potential, but that's all he's got. You know, he's not showing anything to stand out. I think it's just more the price tag, you know?
Yeah, I think he's I don't think he's made that many appearances for the French national team either. I do think he's in the Euro squad for this year, but again, like you say, it's a different kettle of fish over here. And he's, like, I think, as you just said then as well, like his stats aren't that great over in the French league. So is it going to get any better over here? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I guess I've left the best to last, though, in my opinion, which is Youssouf Fofana. Now, stat wise, this guy is the best defensive midfielder in the French league, which, you know, doesn't go saying much. Like, it doesn't take much to probably the best defensive midfielder over there. But again, he's in a similar situation to Thuram. His contract does expire next year. He is predominantly a defensive midfielder or essential mid. He's a little bit older than the other ones as well, so he's 25 years of age. Last year, he made 35 appearances, 4 goals and 4 assists from a predominantly 6 position. He's made 17 appearances for the French national team and scored 3 times. His minutes for last year, so like his availability, he made 91% of the starting 11s, and of the games that he played 88% of the minutes, and he has a goal participation percentage of 12%, which I think is pretty high for a defensive midfielder. And I think as well, he was like one of the best defensive midfielders he may have been in like the top 15, maybe top 10 in Europe or something like that. And I just think with his contract expiring, he's valued here at 30 million euros on transfer market. I reckon you could get this lad for about 20 million. If there's not like a massive bidding war for him. I think he's been heavily linked with Arsenal as well. And there was a report that came out over the past few days where Fabregas actually urged Fofana to go and play for Jurgen Klopp in 2022. There's some quotes here where Fabregas goes on to say, when I came, Thierry Henry also asked me to help grow the young people when Fabregas went to Monaco to play. And he said that it was an important point. Today, I feel like I won the respect and sympathy of this younger generation. I hope I have helped. We like each other. I will continue to follow them and exchange with them. I would like to see Fofana and then a couple of other players at Bayern Munich or Liverpool. And then there's also stuff here that basically says that Eric Ten Hag was believed to be an admirer of Fofana and even tried to sign him for Manchester United last year. However, the sporting director of Monaco claimed that the midfielder rejected Man United last year. The quotes are that he deserves most of the credit. Fofana believes in our project and made the decision to stay longer at Monaco to continue his development. He has big ambitions with the French team and Monaco also. So it says here that 1 year after snubbing Man United, it's understood that he's valued at around £20 million with his contract expiring. So again, I've saved the best to last, in my opinion. I believe that this lad is the lad that God, something stuck in my throat. I think that this lad is the lad that Liverpool should go for in a defensive sixth position, is Yusuf Fofana. I don't know how much of that you heard, Shauno, so I'll go to Bri first. Do you think that for 20 million quid that Yusuf Fofana is someone that Liverpool should go for?
Definitely the type of player we need. 100%. He can take us on to the next level. I think his age is a little bit against him, but I think he's still within touching distance for us. My only thing about him is Liverpool won't get into a bidding war. They're going to offer a certain amount of wages, and it's up to the player whether he gets better offers. I think he's going to have his choice of clubs this year. I think that's the type of player I want us to sign. Liverpool need to keep our standards. Those are the standards we need. We should be going there for the best, and he's one of them. That's what we should be going for, and I hope we go for.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Shauna?
I don't know much about about this player, if I'm honest with you. So look, I mean, anything that is, I suppose, cheap and cheerful, FSG will be interested in. But I mean, if he is off, how old is he?
He's 25. Just to give you a bit more of a background, because I don't know how much you missed of it because I couldn't see you because I was on a different page. Last year, he made 35 appearances, 4 goals, 4 assists from a predominantly defensive midfielder position. He's got a year left on his deal. He made 91% of the starting 11s last year. He completed 88% of the minutes for last year, and he had a 12% goal participation as well from like a defensive sixth position. And stat-wise, as I started this one off talking about him, stat-wise, he was the best defensive midfielder in the French league last year.
Well, I mean, you've second sold it to me there then. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Brian says, maybe his age is slightly going against him. I think you're probably not going to get. It's kind of like trying to get a house in Ireland. Like the asking price could be 500,000 and it end up being 750, going for up 750,000. So you just don't know. I mean, it more than likely end up in a bidding war in which probably Liverpool and FSG won't play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is kind of not a part of this, but there was that them stats that came out the other day that Liverpool were was it the 3rd or the 4th highest for paying agent fees last season, and the people above us beat us by like a considerable amount of money. Like I think Chelsea or Man United, or it was one of them. It was either Chelsea, United, or City, like doubled us. So you've got to think I think that may have had some sort of influence over the whole Caicedo thing, which I think 115 million, I think John Henry shit himself, and that's why he came over to England. Like, what the hell's going on? But I do think at the same time, another reason potentially why that deal didn't happen is because the money that was probably offered to the agent was more than what Liverpool were willing to pay. But that's by the by, I guess, now, and he didn't really set the whole world on fire, did he? At Chelsea last year. So, guys, we've only got 3 more players to touch on right now in this bit, and it's the wide players now. So we'll start off with this one first, because again, I've gone back and forth on this one because his stats to me don't scream out as someone who could be a Liverpool player, but at the same time, I have seen some other stuff about it where he hardly gives the ball away. He's a workhorse. He always presses. He does this, that, and the other. And I'm talking about Brian Mbeumo, if that's how you pronounce his name. At Brentford. Now,
Kinder Bueno.
Yeah. What did you say? Sorry, Kinder Bueno.
Kinder Bueno. Yeah. That's what I call
it. And there's me just agreeing with you, like, yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
So, what I mean by stats, guys, is he's never had a season where he scored double-digit goals. Last year in the Premier League and the EFL Cup, he made 27 appearances, 9 goals, and 6 assists for Brentford. He's a right winger. He's left-footed. He can play second striker, or he can play down the middle just by himself. He is 24 years of age, and his contract technically expires 2026, but there is a club option for a further year, which takes it to 2027. On here, it says that his current market value is 40 million euros. And at the international stage for Cameroon, so again, you'd have that AFCON thing there as well with this.
Yeah,
he's made 11 appearances and 2 goals. What do you think? For me, he seems a little bit underwhelming to me, does that? I think, as Gareth says there, the £50 million asking price for someone with stats like that, I can't see that happening. But I'll come to you, Brian, on this one first. What do you think? Would you take him at Liverpool?
No, wouldn't have him. Wouldn't even grace the training ground. He's just one of these. He's an FSG signing. He sounds like an FSG signing.
Yeah.
Cheerful. No, he's not the standard of player we need. No. We need better. We need the Manes of this world. We need the Salahs of this world. That's the standard, and that's what I want. I don't want somebody from Brentford. Do you know what I mean? This never made double digits. No, I don't want it. Not for me.
What about you, Sean? I can see you shaking your head.
Like, the fact that we're linked with a player from Brentford, for folks, sorry, like, honest to God, like, I mean, okay, I know that we raided Southampton, with the likes of Van Dijk and the likes of Sadio Mane, and that's grand, that's fine. But this is Brentford, for feck's sake. Since 2000, he's been there since 2019. He's made 184 appearances and 45 goals. It's hardly something that you pay 50 cents for. 50 million for that. You'd expect, as you said, double digits, and for him to be, on everyone's radar. But he's certainly not on my radar. At 24 years of age, he's played for the French youth. No. Just no.
Again, I won't take him at Liverpool. When I saw the links and everything, it was basically just him saying that he wanted to take his career to the next level and play for a higher level club and everything like that. And I'm just like, do it at Brentford, mate.
Exactly. If you want to play at a higher level, play at a better level for the current team that you're with, so that then you have something to say, well, look what I'm doing at Brentford, and they're a crap team, and then come for me,
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll leave that one there with him. Doesn't seem to be one that we go for. Next, guys, I think we'll touch on the Leeds winner, Somerville. Now, he is 22 years of age. Again, he can play either on the left or the right wing. He is right-footed. His contract expires in 2026, which, I would probably think, maybe there's a bit of stuff there that's like, is it going to cost a fair bit to get him? However, Leeds obviously didn't get promoted to the Premier League, and there is the word going around that Leeds have to raise 100 million to basically do financial fair play. He was the Championship Player of the Year last season, but Liverpool have been down that road before with Fabio Carvalho. Again, Liverpool scouts have been watching him for a fair bit. To be fair, I can see him on the list of people to watch. Last year, in the Championship, FA Cup, and everything else, total appearances 49, 21 goals, 10 assists. He has played 8 times for the Dutch under-21s and scored twice. His agency as well, guys, is one that Liverpool does have a good working relationship with. It's that Wasserman one. There's players on here that Liverpool have got on the books, like Curtis Jones, Joe Gomez, and there's players that Liverpool have been linked with him for like a long time now, like that Antonio Robinson at Fulham, the left back, he's on here. Max Kilman at Wolves, Liverpool have been linked with him. Harvey Barnes, Lutschral Gertrude, the centre back from Feyenoord, who was at the West Ham game when Arne Slot was first announced as like taking over. He's on their books. Nathan Ake, and then that other player that seems to be linked with Liverpool all the time recently, that Coop Miners, the midfielder from Atalanta. Now, again, I get that he's from the Championship, and I get that Liverpool have been stung with someone similar to this, as in, the Fabio Carvalho stuff. I think this kid's pretty decent, to be fair. He looked all right. He didn't play that well in the playoff final, I will say that, but I do agree with one of the commentators on that, where it looked like a few of the Leeds players were trying to save themselves for a transfer this year, basically. But yeah, Bri, what do you think? Is Somerville someone that you could potentially look at taking?
Nope. His stats are impressive for a Championship player, but it's still a Championship.
Yeah.
We've got some of the best, or had some of the best wingers. We're going for Champions League, Premier League. They can't qualify from a Championship. He's got potential, but then the price tag, there'll be a lot of players after him. To me, I'd rather, I don't know. He doesn't impress me whatsoever. That's not the standards we need to push on.
Mm-hmm.
He's not better than Diaz. He's not better than Salah. Not that you'll find many better than them, but personally, for me, no. I don't like it. I don't want a Championship player. I want, a player that's played Champions League, scored goals at the highest level. I don't want somebody from a Championship.
Yeah, I get that. I can get that point. What about you, Shano?
This guy's Dutch, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the only thing for going for him. I can't see. I can't understand why Liverpool would be linked with a Championship player. I really can't. I mean, if they're looking for potential, that's fine. But there comes a stage where, okay, we've got young players, in the squad. They're good potential, but I just can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, he's a good player. He looks to be a good player. He was with Feyenoord from 2018-20, made no appearances from them. And then he did a few loan deals before going to Leeds. That sounds all grand, but you need someone that can hit the ground running. I really think that you're taking a gamble with these young players. I could see him, if we got him, we'd probably put him out on loan, and he'd be whinging like fucking Vandenberg, So I can't make sense of it, really. I don't think that's a good buy. I think if majority of Liverpool fans would be like, here, come on.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know how this next one's going to go down with Perry either then. So the last one that's been linked with Liverpool on and off recently as well is Johan Bakayoko from PSV. Again, he plays in Holland. He is a Belgian player. He plays out on the right wing. He is left-footed. Again, 2 years left on his contract. I guess there's a plus here for you, Bri. Like, he's got some Champions League experience this year. He's got 48 games this year, 14 goals, 14 assists. And for the Belgium national team, he has played 11 times with 1 goal. And he made 85% of the starting 11s, completed 82% of the minutes, and had 19 goal participation for PSV's goals last year. And I do think as well that PSV went on to win the league last year. I might be wrong there, but yeah, I think that is the case with him. And he is the only player on the agency that represents him. And his current market value at the moment is 45 million euros. So there is this little bit here on the Football Insiders podcast where a senior correspondent, and you take that as you want, basically revealed that Bakayoko had been on Liverpool's radar for a while now, and that there is a belief they could secure his signature for a decent fee. What that is, I don't know. But for me, in all fairness, I think that if Liverpool want to get this kid over the line, they have to get it done before the Euros kick off, just in case he has an absolute blinder at the Euros and his price tag rises by like 20 million or something daft like that. But yeah, what about you guys? What do you think on Bakayoko? I'll come to you, Sean, first on this one.
Well, what's the chances of us signing anything before the Euros? I don't think that's I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, and certainly with the way we do business. What's his market value again?
45 million euros. So about 40 million quid. 40 million quid.
Yeah. And what age is he?
21, I think. 22. Let me load it up again. Yeah, I think he's like 21, 22.
I don't know. I don't really know.
21 years of age.
I mean, Spectre saying that he was close to joining Brentford on deadline day last summer for 40 million, but turned it down without reason. I don't know what that really... He turns down Brentford. I don't know. Yeah, I've no real opinion on it, to be honest with you. Underwhelmed.
What about you, Bri?
It's a vast improvement from the last guy we was talking about. He's got Champions League experience. He's into double digits. He scores goals. He's won things. He's won leagues. He's young. He's the type of profile we're looking for. He's in the price range we're looking for. Arnie Slot's worked with him, so we'd know how to get the best out of him. I think out of all the wingers we've been linked with, I think he's not the standard we need, but we've got to start somewhere. And I think out of all the ones we've talked about, I think he's got the most potential. It makes the most sense. And once again, Arnie Slot's worked with him, so he knows the exact type of player he's getting. You know? So,
I guess the question is, do you come to the end of like the wide players, and they all seem to have like a very similar age profile? Do you reckon that's an age profile Liverpool should be going for? Do you reckon they should go for someone a little bit older, a bit more experienced, maybe like a 25-year-old, like for Fofana? What do you think, Bri?
I think 22, 23, 24 is the age we should be. I think that's the age that Liverpool are going for, or that's the age we should be going for, because they've gone from prospects and into, they got the experience. They should have the experience, but then they should have, picked up the goal scoring sense by then. We've got, it's just before their peak. I think we're looking for just before their peak. Yeah, like to me, those three players you mentioned, it would be Bakayoko, Somerville, and then the other guy at Brentford. Perhaps those are the three that's on the list that they're looking for.
Apparently, sorry, Brian. Apparently, Arsenal and Bayern Munich are looking for the same guy.
Is it Bakayoko?
Well,
it must be maybe something there then. I don't know. Like, I like the look of him. I think he's got the pace to be able to be. Like, I think Spectre said it here. It could be like a Mo Salah. Where's it gone? Someone said that he's really fast. There you go. Spectre, yeah. Belgium national, fast as hell, would be a perfect Salah long-term replacement. But yeah, he is the best out of the three that's been mentioned so far, I would say. But we know what Liverpool's like lately. Liverpool just kind of seem to be able to go for a guy we've never even heard of and just pull him out of the bag. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people we've just spoke about today, probably Liverpool won't even get any of them. It'd be someone else that we've never even heard of. Gary Richardson here. Sign him as soon as possible. 10 years of Bakayoko is exciting. But yeah, any last words on the transfer links, guys? What's your thoughts and opinions so far on the names that have been linked? I know it's very early days. I know that everyone's only just started, but what do you think on what's been coming out so far? I'll go with you, Bri.
That Bakayoko reminds you of a Doku, is it? A City. He's the same type of player, I think, and he's fast, can finish. It's very underwhelming, I think, the players we've been linked with at the start of the season. I suppose, obviously, as the summer goes on, more and more is going to come out. Like you said, though, Liverpool are probably in talks with somebody we haven't even mentioned yet. They usually just they'll pop up tomorrow. Liverpool have agreed terms with somebody who you know. But yeah, it's very underwhelming, the players you've been linked with.
What about you, Shona?
Well, apparently we were linked with Chimene because he was on X and someone said that they liked his boots, and he was a Liverpool supporter, and he says, I'll send you my boots. So it just goes to show that, like, something as silly as that, and we're all of a sudden linked with these players. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of in two minds really to know what to really think. I have a fair idea of what positions I'd like to see strengthening. But it really all depends on the transfer kitty, and I suppose what Slot's involvement is, whether he can say, well, this is what I want, these are the players that I want. What sort of control does he have? And from what I can gather, he doesn't. So I suppose what's out there on social media and media in general, these players may not be linked with us at all. So it's hard to know.
I guess just to finish off then, why don't we just talk about the positions we think Liverpool should be looking at this summer? So, Bri, what would you say are the two positions? Let's just go with the top two to start with. Like the top two positions Liverpool should be looking at strengthening this year.
Centre back and a defensive midfielder. Personally, I'd even name the players that I would like.
Yeah, go on then. Go.
I'd like Ignacio for Sporting, and I'd like Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa. Those are the two players I would like. I think that would vastly improve Liverpool Football Club.
What about you, Shona?
I think Ignacio, on the basis that he's versatile and he can play centre back and left back. I think we definitely need a centre back and left back. So we're kind of getting two positions with one player. I'm not too sure about defensive midfielder. I think if I had a choice, Liverpool tend not to kind of buy too much during any window. Well, up until last summer. So I mean, if I had a choice between two positions, I would go for centre back and striker.
So we've had centre back and a DM from Spectre. Martin's put, is that a left back and a centre back? And then we'll do this last question before we go on to the last segment of the stream. Spectre's asked, if we had 150 million to spend, who would be our signings this summer? Your choice. So, Brian, come back to you. I know you've already mentioned Ignacio and Douglas Luiz. Do you reckon there's anybody else that you could probably fit in with 150 million on there?
I think Douglas Luiz is going to cost 50 million. Ignacio is going to cost 60 million, so it leaves me with 40. We could maybe get that boy from Aston Villa that's up front. I can't remember him, the English boy.
Ollie Watkins.
If they do us a favour, like, for 40 million, I think he's more of a natural finisher. He's Premier League proven. He can play the Darwin Núñez role. He's English, homegrown.
By you, Sean, 150 million.
I'd be inclined to agree with Brian there.
Yeah. Cool. I reckon I'd go with Ignacio, as you just said. DM wise, I'm gonna go on this Fofana train. I think I'd take him at 20 million or something like that. Which leaves me a fair bit of money then to go out, and I don't know, I like Ollie Watkins, but I'm just wondering if there's anybody else out there that'd be better to come in as a number 9 for Liverpool right now. I can't think, there's not many number 9s out there, to be fair. I think that's why there's like a premium on the price that people are paying from, like that Højlund that Man United paid. Like they paid a hell of a lot of money for him, and he hasn't really done much.
What about that guy at Southampton? That striker that Arsenal linked with.
Is it Armstrong?
No.
Armstrong.
Didn't he get banned for betting?
Oh, from Brentford, Ivan Toney.
Yeah, that's from Brentford, Ivan Toney.
Yeah, he might be. He's a Liverpool fan as well, so he'd play for Badge, wouldn't he? So, yeah, good shout. Let's have a look at whatever people have been saying here. So we've got a 6 and a backup keeper. We don't. Kelleher, do you know, might be going. Defender, midfielder, and an attacker. Striker, centre back, a DM, and a left back. Jacob Ramsey from Aston Villa. Guy Richardson's put out there. Gareth again, Inacio, Robinson. Is that? I'm guessing that's Robinson from Fulham, the left back. Jimenez and Fofana, and then 100 million. Is that confirmed? How much they'd want for him? 100 million. I think he's only got a year left on his deal, and he or something as well. That's bonkers. That. Right then, guys. I think we'll move on to the last segment then, which is it's not Monday Morns this week. It's Monday Mentions, and I wanted to talk about something that Shauno brought to my attention, which is Erik ten Hag's comments on Arne Slot when he was announced as the Liverpool manager. So basically, he's put the knife in a little bit. I think it starts off nicely, but then he sticks it in. So I'll just go on with what's been mentioned here. So basically, his quotes are when asked about Liverpool appointing Arne Slot, he said, "I think it's very good and a beautiful choice from both sides. This is great for the Dutch Trainers Guild, and Arne Slot also fits Liverpool with his philosophy. It also ties in with Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders. They have left a strong foundation. He ends up in better waters than I did when I went from Holland to Manchester United in terms of structure in the club and in terms of balance of the squad." But then he goes on to say that it has a bit of a dig at him, I think, and I think you agree also, Shauno, where he goes on to mention Feyenoord was stable this year, but not top. In my opinion, the difference between PSV and Feyenoord was too big from Feyenoord's perspective as the reigning national champion. People are overly lyrical about Feyenoord. PSV were 2 classes better than them in all areas, in terms of dominating the ball, in terms of pressing, in terms of intensity, you name it. PSV are better than Feyenoord by such a large distance. Now, what's your thoughts on that, guys? I think there's a bit of a double-edged sword there where he's a bit, like, oh, nicey, come over, blah, 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 blah. But then he kind of like sticks the knife in a little bit there, don't you think? What do you think about that shot? You were the one that brought it to me, Sean. I'll let you take a bit of a go on this. And what do you think about that?
He's a bitch. That's all I can say. He's an absolute bitch. I swear to Christ. The guy has had, and I keep saying it, Sky Sports do an interview when he loses. When he draws, we're building something big, all this bullshit. They do another interview. When he loses, they do an interview. When he wins, they do an interview. Very few wins, though, that he's had. The guy has spent about 400 million, finished 8th, worst league position in the Premier history, conceded the most goals, scored the lowest amount, finished with minus goal difference, most losses at Old Trafford this season, bottom of the Champions League group. And I mean, United fans were cheering for City to win the Premier League because Liverpool didn't. I mean, honest to God, the guy is an out and out bitch. If you don't like Slot, if you think that it's completely he's completely overhyped and whatever, like Ten Hag was, then keep your mouth shut. Be professional. That you don't have to go and be bitchy. And I mean, I saw in another video there that there was kind of speculation that maybe something had gone on between them when they were in the Dutch league. In either case, just be professional, for God's sake. You have your own crap at Manchester United. You need to deal with it. And you think of an FA Cup and finishing 8th is you bringing the glory back to the theatre of streams, because it is falling apart and flooding between piss and bloody, it's a joke. I hope, and I mean, there's talks of Erik ten Hag finding out his future at Old Trafford in the next couple of days. So why doesn't he just worry about that rather than Arne Slot?
Exactly.
Arne Slot isn't shitting it. He's just taken the biggest role of his career so far, and he's not even done a press conference yet. He's not even done he's like, yeah, I'll do it when I'm ready. He doesn't. He's not hyping himself up. He's not doing 15,000 interviews. Ten Hag needs to be modest. He needs to realize he's underperformed, and he's not all that, and that's it. And United fans need to do that as well. I mean, I saw a post there on Facebook. Wait until I see if I can find it, because it just nearly just set me over the edge here. I have to check it. Where is it? It's so annoying. Here we go. I don't think giving him another chance is a risk. So this is a Man United fan. So the first 2 season stats. So they have Arteta, they have Ten Hag, and they have Klopp. So games, 86 for Arteta, 86 for Ten Hag, 99 with Klopp. 157 points for Arteta, 168 for Ten Hag, 178 for Liverpool for Klopp. Wins 47 for Arteta, 53 for Ten Hag, whoop-de-doo, and 50 for Liverpool for Klopp. Defeats 23 for Arteta, 25 for Ten Hag, 28 for Klopp. Draws 16 for Arteta, only 9 draws for Ten Hag, give him a contract, and 21 draws for Klopp. Point per game, 1.83 for Arteta, 1.95 for Ten Hag, 1.8 for Klopp. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and any Man United fans out there, let's just see the farewell parade they do for Ten Hag when he's kicked out of Old Trafford.
What do you think about that, Brian?
How can I come after Sean's speech like that?
I know, I probably should have come to you first.
Well, he's already admitted in that interview that Liverpool are a better run club. They got a better squad. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think Xavi got fired last week for comments like that at Barcelona, and Ten Hag is still there. I think Ten Hag is shitting himself because, let's be honest, Slot can't do any worse than what Ten Hag has done. So I think, personally for me, I think Man United should keep Ten Hag because he's shit. And I think I don't know. I don't think Slot can do any worse than what Ten Hag has. So Ten Hag has set the bar.
What a low bar he set. I mean, come on. I mean, like, he's gone on. Well, we've won 2 cups in how many years? Whoop-de-doo. Like seriously.
Do you know those stats you read out, Sean? Was it the last 2 seasons? Was it?
I was so angry, I don't even know.
Well, Klopp's been there 9 years.
Hold on till I just check. Last 2 season stats.
Yeah. So Klopp's been there 9 years. Last season was Klopp's worst season. It was abysmal. Don't get me wrong, but they taken the worst year out of 9 years. If you put him up against the first 3 or 4 years he's been there, he'd absolutely wipe the floor with all of them.
But you see, the funny thing about this is they cherry pick stats to suit them and to suit their narrative. Well, look, we're better than Klopp here. Well, do you know what I mean? You would have given your left one to have had Klopp at your club, so don't even go there with us. But let's just see Eric Ten Hag's farewell at Old Trafford. Will they have like 2 gigs? Will they, get him to do kind of a lap around for getting 8? Are they going to have like an audience with Ten Hag and have like a load of musicians play and people interviewing them?
No, I agree. It sounds like someone who's got sour grapes, and it sounds like someone who's a little bit scared of what this other guy's going to come in and do. He's going to show him up. Like, he's got his excuses in there. Like, oh well, he's going to come into a better squad than what I did, and a whole better situation to what I did. Well, if you're so great, Ten Hag, you should have done it, shouldn't you, mate? You know what I mean? You should have cracked on and done it. But you know, it sounds like someone who's just a little bit scared that Arne Slot's going to come in and just show him up. So,
you know, Ten Hag, right, he's been there, 2 years now? Has he even made Man United better? Really?
Well, no, not really. I wouldn't say so.
I don't see no improvement. I see a lot of money wasted on players. I don't think Man United are any better now than what they were when he took over.
No.
You know?
Half of the players he has have bracelets on their ankle and have to talk to a parole officer. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, like Ten Hag would just want to just deal with his own shit, deal with the crappy owners that he has, deal with the mouth that bought a share in Manchester United, who's given it all of that. There's so much lip service from Manchester United, and it is just music to my ears, because how it's gone from, high expectations, the Roy Keane, expectations of, well, God help us if we win anything. Like, it's just mental. It's just so crazy. It gets on my goat, but it's hilarious to see, At least Solskjaer had a little bit of dignity in him, a little bit, because when he was asked about, who does he want to see win the league, and it was between Liverpool and Man City, how he replied is, I couldn't care less, because he was more interested in managing Manchester United. So I have respect for him. Ten Hag is just walking around like a Wish.com Pep.
Yeah. Any last words, Bri?
No.
That sounds very threatening.
No, I just think I think Man United would have been better with Solskjaer, because he would have signed Haaland, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he look at Haaland for Man United?
Yeah, he did that. He did that interview, didn't he? Where he said they were looking at Haaland, they were looking at a few other players that have gone on to do really well elsewhere. So whatever, man. Like, I think Spectre's got it right there to finish this off with. Spectre's comment there. Arne Slot's living rent free in Erik Ten Hag's head already, and he hasn't even got here yet.
When you bring in a player that that hires his own photographer to take pictures of him when he scores goals, and to bring out a Sonic the Hedgehog soft toy, you've got problems.
Didn't I hear about Bruno Fernandes' agent? He's been flirting with top clubs and offering his client, because apparently Bruno Fernandes he'll sign a new contract, but that depends on the project of the club and the manager.
Probably, yeah, probably. I can imagine that. I don't know, but I can imagine that.
He's a shithouse. Again, yeah. I mean, I could go on about United, but this is a Liverpool channel, and I mean, we're Liverpool fans, and I mean, they don't live rent free in our heads, because what have they done lately that has worried us? I mean, okay, they knocked us out with the FA Cup. I mean, I'm sure the DVD is coming out with that. The open bus top parade is going to be, probably in the next day or two for that. But, I mean, we bet them 5-0. We bet them 7-0. We bet them... I mean, come on. We have achieved so much under Jurgen Klopp, and we've made an absolute disgrace out of Manchester United. Manchester United aren't a team to be feared. And Ten Hag can blow as much smoke up his own arse as he likes. He's probably going to lose his job, and then it's going to be the next failure to take on Manchester United, and we'll all be laughing, when it's another 10 years or another 20 years by the time they win anything or win the league. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
They used to be our fierce rivals. Now they're just there to make up the numbers. I think that's the best way we can describe Man United.
Agreed. 100% there. That's probably one of the best ways to describe Man United now. And you could probably put Chelsea in there in the same breadth as well as that. And really do.
What's going on with their contracts and the contracts that they're offering people? Like
Chelsea?
5 or 10. Yeah.
It's to get through FFP, isn't it? Like, with all that stuff, with that, like, it has to be. But then FIFA or something trying to get rules in place to stop that from happening now, or something like that. I can't remember. Something to do with that.
Don't get me started on FFP and all of that. Don't get me started.
Right, guys. I think that's everything for tonight, guys. If there's anything else anyone wants to talk about, anything you want to say before we go, you can do your red bubble thing again, Sean, before we get off.
Yeah, redbubble.com. If you go on to SD Designs, let me see. Yeah, SD Designs. There's some good Liverpool stuff there. There's also another guy that I want to give a shout out to because he's been very kind to actually give me a print of one of his fantastic art pieces. His name is Wayne Henley. He did an amazing oil painting of Jurgen Klopp there, Wayne Henley. So check him out. And of course, then jackdesigns.uk, who does those tops that I have. And I've also got, there you go. Look at that one. That's done by Number 19 Apparel. So there you go. So load of shout outs for a load of people that I buy stuff from.
And I'll put some links to them in the description below, guys. Other than that, I think we will be back again next Monday, all being well. Hopefully we've got the Arne Slot press conference and everything. We can talk about that maybe next week. But yeah, I guess until then, guys, I'll probably end up seeing you all in the next video I end up doing. But yeah, I guess we'll just leave it there, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you all next week. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.